In 1949, Chiang Kai-shek, the president of China, was defeated in the civil war by the Red Army of the Communist Party under the leadership of Mao. The People's Republic of China was founded after Beijing fell on October 1st, 1949. Based on that incident, the main army of the Republic of China moved from the south to Taiwan at the beginning of December 1949. This plan was known as the Great Retreat. Due to this event, both groups, namely the nationalists in Taiwan and the communists in Beijing, see themselves as the main claimants for the rule of China on the international level. For many years, the government of Taiwan held the seat of the Chinese representative at the United Nations until 1971. Since then, the seat of the Chinese government has been based in Beijing. As a result of these circumstances, the majority of countries in the world recognize the communist government ruling in Beijing as the only official government of China. Moreover, the diplomatic relations with the government of Taiwan have also been severed. But today, Taiwan has informal relations with most countries in the world. In the 80s, with the beginning of the Détente policy, under Deng Xiaoping as the leader, Taiwanese people were able to travel to China for the first time in November 1987. And this event marked the beginning of trade exchanges between Taiwan and China in the 80s. The state of war between Taiwan and China was lifted for the first time since 1949, following this trend. In 1995, President Teng Hu, the father of Taiwan's democracy, visited the United States for the first time. Consequently, there has been an interruption in the process of normalizing relations between China and Taiwan as a result of this issue. In 2005, tensions between China and Taiwan increased. This is because the National People's Congress in Beijing approved the anti-cession law. According to this law, the Chinese government, as a result of the One China principle, declared that if Taiwan declares independence from China, it is allowed to confront Taiwan in a non-peaceful manner. There is a policy in the Communist Party of China called the One China policy, which has stated that there is only one independent country called China, and Taiwan is a part of it. As a result of China's policy, the United States recognized the People's Republic of China as the only official government of China and severed diplomatic relations with Taiwan in 1979 as a consequence of China's policy. Despite the official termination of relations between the two sides, Taiwan and the United States continue to have very strong unofficial relations. The United States is Taiwan's most significant ally in terms of both military and economic affairs. After Ma Ying-jeou was elected president in 2008, relations between China and Taiwan improved in the years following. In 2010, the two countries signed the Economic Cooperation Framework Agreement. It was in 2015 that the de-escalation of China-Taiwan relations reached its peak. A meeting between the leader of the Republic of China, Ma Ying-jeou, and the leader of the People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping, took place in Singapore during the same period. It is the first time that the two highest officials from China and Taiwan has met in the history of relations between the two countries. Nevertheless, the result of meeting had short-term consequences, and the fear of China increased its influence in Taiwan, led Tsai Ing-wen to become the president of Taiwan in 2016, which led to a sharp increase in tension between the two countries. At the same time, Donald Trump, considered a staunch critic of China, became president of the United States. President Ing-wen is the first woman president of Taiwan, and a member of the Democratic Progressive Party, which has close ties to pro-independence movements. Ng Wen is a staunch opponent of the one country, two systems policy, the policy that China has implemented in Hong Kong. After her victory in the presidential election, Beijing suspended all relations with Taiwan. Ng Wen also won the 2020 presidential election. In her victory speech, she mentioned Taiwan as a country. Because of this issue, China has referred to its army as a military maneuver since October 2020. It also caused China to repeatedly threaten Taiwan's air borders despite the Taiwan government's displeasure. There was an impression that after Joe Biden won the 2020 presidential election in the United States, the tension in the relation between China and the United States would soon end. Biden's order to end the US-China trade war encouraged hope that this issue could be resolved. The increases in military maneuvers by China since late 2021, however, have come in contravention to the way the United States had handled its relations with Taiwan and China for the last couple of decades, which was known as the strategic ambiguity. In response to China attacking Taiwan, President Biden announced that the U.S. will defend Taiwan if they are attacked. Nancy Pelosi, the U.S. Speaker of the House of Representatives and a staunch supporter of President Biden, visited Taiwan on August 5, 2022, which caused U.S.-China relations to reach their lowest point in over 40 years. In the last 20 years, this is the first time that a high-ranking American official has traveled to Taiwan. As a response to this visit, the Chinese government conducted the largest military exercise in its history around Taiwan. Additionally, Nancy Pelosi and her associates were sanctioned by the Beijing government for their actions. In addition to the United States, other countries in the world will also be angered by the Chinese government if they improve their relations with Taiwan. In November 2021, the Lithuanian government issued permission to establish a representative office of Taiwan in its territory. In response to this action, China reduced its political relations with Lithuania and cut off food exports to Lithuania. According to China's containment policy, the US is trying its best to support Taiwan against China in every possible way. Will Taiwan become the Sarajevo of the 21st century? Only time will tell.